You've seen the success and you've also seen the dark side of it. Did that still encourage you to go on?
I don't think we've really ever gone and spoken about the struggles we've had. We probably kind of make it look easy. This is an industry where somebody can help you with is a meeting. What happens after that meeting is you have to prove yourself. No influence can actually do that for you, because ultimately in our industry also, you know how actors have auditions. In singers, there are scratches.
You've both also been such big advocates of supporting more female musicians as well.
I've done this experiment with my friends, and I've seen them like, show me your playlist, what are you hearing to these days? And I only see guy songs. It's time that we have equal representation, but I still think the soundtracks for such female-led films are still sung by men.
Every time I'm getting ready, I'm doing my hair and makeup, I just want to listen to a female voice. I don't
Yeah,
think a male
so
voice like
nice.
does justice to
Yeah.
blow drying your hair, getting your nails done. I'm like, no, you don't understand.
If twins marry twins and then they have like different kids,
Twin sons.
those two kids are actually related. Like they're not just cousins, they're like real siblings.
The math in my head.
Yeah, math is not math.
Joining us today are India's only singing twins, two phenomenal voices that have taken the music world by storm with their chart-topping hits and, of course, undeniable charm. From powerful collaborations with Badshah to lending your voices to the biggest Bollywood blockbusters, they've redefined what it means to be artists in the Indian music industry. Supra, or lovingly known as Sukhu and Puku, welcome to Sustainability with Shreya. Thank you so much for doing this with me.
I love this intro. Thank you so much.
Are you proud of me that I got Sukhu and Puku
Yeah,
right?
you
Like,
did.
just
And
the
also
fact that I
Supra,
know.
the fact that she looked at you when she said Su and Pra.
I love that. I'm very proud of that, and I'm sure every time, if you had $1 for every time someone got Sukhu and Puku wrong, we
Yeah. Oh
would
my God,
change
switch
the
bangs.
pay gap in the music
The
industry.
sequel of Sita Gita.
But I think the way I remember it, first time when I met you and I asked you for
Yeah.
tips, I asked you for pointers, and you said it was the tattoo
Oh
of
my God,
popcorn
do I do that
cupcake.
every single time?
I think you
yeah.
do.
My
Yeah,
God.
can I see it?
Yes.
You've
Yeah,
got
that's
your
my
little-
dog. Wow, that's another
Don't call him
introduction.
a dog.
He's not a dog. He's Popcorn, and
He's your sibling.
he's my brother. I just tied him a
Yeah,
Rakhi
I saw
also.
that. It was so cute.
And yeah, this is a 5.5-year-old tattoo now. So
Oh,
Yeah.
that's really cute. Because I saw the show. I saw the Kapil Sharma show, and your mom also
Yeah.
said that sometimes she still gets confused between the two of you.
yeah, but that's
that-
just so sad because we get so upset. Like she is one person who's not supposed to, but like maybe sometimes. But she also confuses us with our elder sister sometimes.
Okay,
so I
that's-
think it's
yeah.
a mom thing.
Yeah, it's just a
Yeah.
it's just a mom thing. Obviously,
Yeah.
because all of you sing at the same time. And,
Yeah.
Sing at the same time.
Sing at the same time,
talk
I
at the
mean-
same time, and we're just literally like we're made out of the same mold. So people just get confused,
Can she differentiate the voices though?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
Really?
so, yeah.
yeah.
So
So
the-
honestly, I haven't thought about it too much, but I think I've never tested her.
Okay.
Because she's created us. There's just no way she could go wrong, but we should test her.
If you played Akriti's voice and both of your voices,
Yeah,
um,
100%.
I'm sure she'd be able
Yeah.
to.
So I think Didi's voice is very undeniably her.
Yeah.
But since I think we're twins, so sometimes people do get confused in our voices. But like she's like our older sister, and like she has this beautiful, sweet voice. Like even when she's talking, she's singing. So like you can just hear her from outside, and you'll be like, yeah, that's Akriti. So
Wow.
that's her.
I've no idea what that feels like. As I said, my mom and my brother are the only ones that sing, and my dad and I
But that's so
we
amazing.
listen. We can listen. As your dad, as you said,
Yeah.
he's the only listener
Yeah, he's
in
the audience
in the
your
family.
Yeah.
What was it like growing up in this in this matriarchy, in this matriarchal household, where your dad's the only man and you're surrounded by such powerful women? How did that influence the way you grew up, your career choices, everything?
I mean, honestly, I just think that I ask my dad this all the time. I think every time I'm just in the car with him alone, I keep asking him the same question. How is it for you? You have 3 daughters and a wife, and for most of our life, we were living with Dadi also in the same house. So he was always surrounded by so many women, and I feel like that makes him so responsible. And to this day, I feel like the most reliable, most sorted, most dependable man that I know is my father. He exudes this energy where it's like, you can depend on him and tell him to do something, and not for a second you need to flinch because he's going to have it done, you know, like that's a man who always makes you feel like he's got your back. And I just think because of that, um you know, we talk about this all the time. I feel like, you know, he's like our hero. At the end of the day, he's just, I don't know how he did it, you know, personally sometimes when I think about it, but I just think as a man it's made him so responsible but also so worried at the same time, you know.
What do you mean worried?
He's just always worried, you know, like it obviously initially he was more protective and he was more for a lack of a better word, just scared of every you know, because 3 daughters at the same time.
Yeah.
And also our elder sister is 9 years older. So I remember when Dee wanted to come to Bombay to try it out in Bollywood and try and sing, she was all of 16, and he left everything back in Delhi just to come to Bombay with her so she can try it out, so she doesn't have to be alone and figure it out on her own, you know. And to this day I think that how could somebody like my dad at the time just forget everything else, like leave his job, give everything up and just shift to another city to just test waters,
With
you know.
your daughter.
That's
yeah.
incredible.
It's
That's so
insane to
supportive.
me. It's so supportive, you know. And we have this conversation all the time, like, would you do this for your child, you know? It's crazy. I
Yeah.
ask my friends and like nobody can actually relate to this story because it's just what my father did, you know.
And we used to, at that time, I remember we used to live in Delhi. My mom was a music teacher. So she used to wake up in the morning and go to school. And her school used to start at 7 a.m. And our school used to start at 8 a.m. So we used to go sit with her while she's teaching music to the students. And we used to be in the corner. And then she used to take a break and then drop us like 10 minutes to our school. And like, you know, like my dad had left for Bombay with my other sister. So we were now a family of 3 in
Yeah.
Delhi and a family of 2 in Bombay.
Bombay.
And my mom didn't know how to drive. She didn't know anything. So I think that time period, like for 3 years that we lived alone with mom, obviously like in you know, our finances weren't great at all. And the way we just lived, I felt like, you know, just I almost had a feeling of a single parent at that time because it was just mom and 2 of us. So I think just staying together as a family of 3 was so, like, sometimes I feel like it completely made us, because like you that time realize how powerful a woman can be, and she's doing everything on her own. She literally learned driving in like 2 months just to be able to like drop us to
Also, I think we
school
were
and
just
small
scared
things like
living
that.
in Delhi. You don't want to
Yeah.
use public transport at like, you know, 5 in the morning when you're dropping your kids to school. So I think, and also I think we couldn't afford a driver back then. So just to cut all that, she had to just learn driving. And that, she was phobic, you know. For the longest time, she was not a good driver.
She's
and
still
like-
not a good driver. She's
But the
so
point is
rash.
she tried, you know. She tried.
After breaking
so-
all the stereotypes,
Yeah.
you know, with the,
Yeah.
We
the
gotta be
driving
honest.
one. Yeah.
But yeah, and then I think eventually we realized that it's kind of not working out, you know, living like this. Like dad has to double up as mom for Dee, and mom has to double up as dad for us. It's not fair to their relationship. So we just came here once. We had a summer holiday from our Delhi school. We came to Bombay for the first time, and we never went back. You know, it was so sudden and so spontaneous. But like looking back, we would have really had it no other way.
How old were
Because-
you back then?
We were
9.
9 or 10.
You were 9 years old.
Yeah.
But you'd started singing already.
I
You
mean,
were-
at that time when we were back in Delhi, I just knew that I want to start working as soon as I can, just to be able to support everything and just have a better lifestyle. Like for me, that was the one and only thing that I used to think about. And I used to think about like when is it, like when can I start working? Like
Yeah.
I'm like, I just want to start working at 15, 16 or like whatever. Like what do I do? Like I go to school, but like how do I start working and how do I start making our life better? So I think when we came to Bombay, we got admission in a school midterm, so we didn't really get to go to
Choose
the
a
school
school.
that
Yeah.
we initially wanted or
Yeah.
anything like that. And then life just kept going on, and I feel like, very fortunately, we were super blessed, and my sister's work started picking up. So for the longest time, she was taking care of all of us in a new city. So I think we bonded as a family more than ever, because we were just 5 people in a home. We used to stay in a 1-bedroom house, and we were just like, everybody has a different life, but they're all together. And we were just so happy. And
And also, I think, dad took up a brand new role, because I just think he's a rock star like that. Like, you give him something and he's going to make you know, like
He
when
owns
life
it.
gives you lemons, you make lemonade. Like he can do anything. So he just took up a whole new role of being a talent manager, which he, you know, practically knew nothing about, and he started managing my sister for the longest time. And you know, they did travel the world, they did so many concerts. Her work really picked up, and then, you know, we did all become super comfortable to some extent. But I think Sukriti and I, always at the back of our heads, we were just like, you know, I don't know if music is that one thing for us, because you know, we did see our sister struggle so much, you know. And this is a very, it is a rewarding industry, but at the same time it's so unpredictable, you know. Like there's some days when you're feeling your best and you're bright, and some days you're just at home because you have nowhere to go, and like because nobody's calling you to the studio, or you don't have work, or you don't have your next gig, and you don't know when you're getting paid the next time. So we've obviously seen days like that too, and we used to talk about this all the time, that should we really do something a little more boring, but you know,
Stable.
at least stable.
Yeah.
But I mean, of course, like life had
Had its own plans.
Yeah.
Because you've seen both, as you said, you've seen the success and you've also seen the dark side of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Did that still encourage you to go on?
Honestly, I feel like you need too much courage to do anything even related to this industry, because like she said, it's so unpredictable. But you know, I think what really helps me is that I have her. So it's like one of us could be low, but the other, and we are super 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 crazy ambitious to a fault. I think sometimes, like, we're just very driven, and I feel like it's very easy to give up. Like it's one of the easiest things. But you know, we started around 16, 17, with 29 now. So
I feel like I'm 18. I'm 29. But
Yeah,
people tell
I
me
just
I'm
said that
29.
out loud.
What? No, I'm 18. You're getting it wrong. You
I'm
have
like
it.
21. Recently, someone said you're 22, right? And I'm like, I love you. Who are you?
What is 29? No.
Yeah.
We'll push that away. Yes, you started when you were 16.
yeah, we started when we were 16, kind of junior college, just right out of school, junior college. And we used to, at that time, I used to love the concept of pocket money, okay? And I realized that we used to, you know, host a lot of these things in school and in college. And like every time there was an annual day or something like that. And also being twins really helped, because sometimes we'd audition and we'd get the main role. And we used to be so excited.
I can't believe she said that, but it's so true.
Yeah.
You know, like we didn't really, in a way, in school especially, we didn't really have to work too hard to get
Yeah.
attention. Teachers, for some reason, think that ये बहुत interesting है, you know, like so many times Suku is the main character and I'm her dream sequence.
Like I sleep and then the dream starts and then she's acting that. So it's been a lot of fun in school, honestly.
I love it. I bet it still continues. I'm sure you've sent her on like a date that you didn't want to go on. I'm sure guys confuse.
Oh,
Guys
no.
get
Yeah,
confused
yeah,
as well. I'm
guys
sure
do.
that still
Yeah.
happens, right?
Yeah,
That's
that's
guys used to, but I also feel like now we take so much effort to sort of look different. I know if it's
How so?
maybe it's not translating, right? But
Yeah.
we try. We try to look different. Yeah.
Different wardrobes, different like looks, and
yeah, I mean, we're
hair
still
and all
different
that.
people at
Yeah.
our heart, you know, like we have different quirks and we have different personalities, and like our moral choices are always the same. But like if you say like red or blue, like it'll be different. Like everything will be different. Like what I probably look in a partner and what she looks in a partner, it's completely
Yeah.
different. And like how I like to have fun, how she likes to have fun is
Yeah.
different. But then we'll always come home and then we'll agree on the same things.
So the
Like,
values are aligned at the end
values
of the
are the
day, even if the
same.
choices
Yeah.
are different
Yeah.
and the preferences are different, the
100%.
values
Yeah.
align at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So you've never had a crush on the same guy. There's never been like a fight over the same. You don't have the same type in men.
No, I mean, when she means we look for different things in men, I think that kind of happened in the last few years.
over
But
time.
I think, yeah, I mean, of course, you know, I remember we were in college and we met this guy and we both were single at the time and he was enjoying the attention because we both were talking to him. And then we did, you know.
he was also talking to both of us.
yeah, technically, like,
so
that's
like
the
it
way I
was
should have
just
said it.
mixed
We'll
signals,
put
you
on
know?
him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But that was only once and we spoke about it and, you know, she asked me where my heads are, I asked her where her heads are and we were just like, listen, we're never going to be Yeah,
Like,
I remember
fighting
we went,
about a
we
guy.
went to
Like,
the washroom, we had this long
conversation and we came out and we both started avoiding him.
and laughing. It was,
That's
yeah.
so beautiful to see. As you said, like a man's not going to get in between the two of
Yeah.
you in the relationship
Yeah.
that you have. Where I see so many women fighting over guys and forget what's important, which is a
Yeah.
sisterhood, right? Like,
No, we're
which is
just like
literally.
we're girls, both of us. Because I feel like we know, I think, a little better than so many other girls how to be a girl's girl because we're always with each other. You know what I'm saying? She's
Yeah.
not a best friend, and like the way that she is in my life is in a capacity of literally a partner. So like I know how to navigate around this, you know, so well. And I just think that's what makes us so fond of having girlfriends because we're so solid with our girls, you know, like
That's beautiful.
and we know how to be girls. So I just feel like that's one line that we're never going to cross because we're just solid like that.
So interesting that you brought up that you look at her as a partner, because the first time we met, I remember Suku said that she thinks you have a past life connection, that she's known you, and she thinks that relationship has been reincarnated as a partnership, and she sees you as a soulmate.
Yeah.
Do you want to touch upon that?
Honestly, I feel like it's very, very crazy because, you know, we're siblings, but we're not just siblings, we're twins. And I don't know what that is, but I honestly, I feel like what capacity Prakriti is in, like in this life for me, nobody can really come even close to that. No partner, no husband, no boyfriend. Like, I feel like that'll always be like secondary to this. Also, like, you know, working together every day, living together now. We just moved to our place and like we're roomies.
Congratulations.
So
Yeah.
all of that just kind of like increases our bond over and over again. So I feel like, yeah, I do. It's just not something that's for this life. Like, and also something really crazy was that one time an astrologer told us that, and it kind of blew my mind.
You want to talk about that story? Yeah, it's a little. I'll just say it, you know.
I believe it. I
but
already
we-
believe it. The way she said it that night, I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I trust you.
No, but you know, we kind of had this theory. I won't lie, we did because we're just like, what are the odds that, you know, we're sisters, we're twins, but our lives are so interconnected. Like, what are the odds that it's like, not only are we just choosing this, but like the world's aligned us so well that we just do everything together, you know. And there's so many twins I see all around us who just do different things and have their own friends and lives, but we're very codependent. And it's always been the case, you know, till date when I see like some clips and some, you know, audio recordings of our childhood, we're so codependent. It's just like, you know, our elder sister kept telling us that I wanted to have siblings so bad. And then, you know, I thought I was so lucky that God didn't give me just one, they gave me two. But then they gave you guys each other. So I was still left alone, you know. So I feel like it's just been a relationship that's been the case quite since we were very, very young. But this astrologer told us, this is going to really sound funny, so I'm ready for this. He said the fact that you spend so much time with each other is because in your last life you guys were lovers.
Ooh.
It gets worse. You guys were lovers, and you know, for some reason your families didn't approve, and y'all, I don't know, maybe it was like a long distance setup or something. But because of that, you know, y'all got to see each other for very limited periods of time. And which is why God chose to reincarnate y'all together, so y'all spend all the long lost time together.
Yeah.
How crazy
Wow.
does this
That's
sound?
a
It
that's
is
a
crazy.
Bollywood
It's
movie.
like
I
a
remember you
promo
said
cut.
that night as well. Like,
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I think it would have just happened at that time when we met, like
Yeah.
2 years
This
ago.
I
is
remember that, and I was
22.
like,
Yeah.
I believe it.
But it was
What did you
so-
think of it? Did you think it was
I-
outrageous? It
No,
was,
not at all, because that's genuinely what I feel for her. Like, it's crazy. We're just very, very connected. Like, I am dysfunctional if we are not okay. Like, if we have a fight,
Yeah.
like, I can have a fight, I can have an argument with anybody else, but if we have a fight, like, there's such a personality switch that I have. Like, I'm not
Yeah,
able to
it's weird.
function. And I'm pretty, like, you know, I'm okay otherwise. But if we fight or there's something like gone wrong between us or something, I'm not able to focus on work. I'm just, so I mean, I was actually reading about this and I figured out, so a lot of twins have abandonment issues as well. Because it's like there are two people constantly, you know, just like who kind of know each other before they were born.
Yeah.
And then you have like this crazy connection, and then so yeah, we think about this all the time, like, you know, what will happen maybe in the future when we're probably married and stuff. Like, how's
Yeah.
that going
How's-
to look for us?
It's going to
So
change the
it's-
dynamics.
Yeah, like just the thought of it that I'll probably have to drive to see her one day. It sounds so lame, but it's so
But
true.
you've
Like, I
thought
can't
about it.
work that hard to come see you. Like, I can't. We live together, so we live together. You know. So it's just things like that that make me really think about what life is gonna be like. But I just think that this is a connection that's just always gonna be on the top, like no matter what, because it's just a very sometimes when we talk about it to other people, they think we're demented, but that's just how it is, And she's so right about the abandonment issues. Like,
Mm.
I feel it too. Like, sometimes most of our fights would just be about, like, but why did you not tell me this before anybody else? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So for
I
very
think we're
tiny
very, I
reasons.
think for our emotions, for everything else, we're very dependent on each other.
Have you all thought about dating twins to reduce the distance gap and the driving issues and all of that? Like, have you all
Honestly,
thought about
haven't
dating?
met any twins.
Okay.
In fact, day before we the
At
Anamika
the-
San
yeah,
are twins.
yeah, the twins.
But I think they must be like the first male twins we have really ever met.
Okay, so that's
not
been
met twins.
Yeah, but
no.
dating twins is just taking it to another whole different level of crazy. That's just wild. Like, let's not go there.
I also read it's so funny that if twins marry twins and then they have like different
Twins?
kids,
twins.
those two kids are actually related. Like, they're not just cousins. They're like real siblings.
The math in my
What?
head.
Yeah, the math is not mathing. I said when I read about it, I didn't say it correctly, but like it did say that, and I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. Oops.
Exactly.
If this
So
is
I'm
not
not
true,
true.
like, someone's gonna come to you in the comments and be like, "No, babe."
I will put the link of what I read. Okay, like blame it on the source, not me.
I mean, I get it. The genetic composition or
Yeah,
whatever.
it's genetic.
Yeah. How have you developed your own individual identities but still stayed Sopra and still you still do music together and you still
Yeah.
have these identities that merge on so many
Yeah.
levels, but how do you still manage to keep them separate?
I feel like our friends and family would be able to answer this so much more, because it's only the pockets in life where probably it's like a special occasion or a birthday where I've received like handwritten letters by some of my friends, and then they make different letters like Sukriti and Prakriti, and then they write the things that they like about us, and I read hers and she reads mine, and I'm like, oh, so we're very different, like like she's. So I've always heard that I've always been a little bit more of an outgoing person than Prakriti.
You're more
Like,
extroverted.
I'm
Yeah.
more extroverted. I'm just, I guess, always more bubbly, and Prakriti always takes time to
Open
warm
up.
up to people.
Yeah.
So it's things like that.
No, but the thing is, like, I'm also bubbly in that sense.
Yeah.
But I just feel like I just can't be friends with everyone. Like, I'm a very friendly person, but then I can't be like everyone's friend, And that takes me a lot of time to sort of trust them and be like level with them on the way that I like to level.
Yeah.
Because I can go extremely
Yeah.
deep sometimes, and some people just don't get it,
Yeah.
Like, I just can't
She's
small
way
talk.
deeper than me.
Really?
Like, I
Yeah.
swear, like I'm not saying I'm surface level. Like, I have
No,
so much
honey,
depth
the way
to
I
my
met you, if
Yeah.
that's saying
Yeah,
anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she will like really like dive deep, and she has this crazy brain that works in, and she makes me realize so many things about certain things. So I'm just like, wow.
Yeah, but I'm
She's
also
funny
really
and deep.
funny. So for the people who don't get my depth, there's humor, So I don't want to dumb down.
No,
Yeah.
we should have had that 3M conversation. We
Yeah.
will another one
We
on
will, we will.
on a whole different
For sure.
level for sure. Have you had moments where there's been like a sense of jealousy or competition, or
Yeah.
how do you overcome
Yeah.
that as
I feel like
As
it's been a
sisters.
progression. It's just been, something that we've had to learn to get used to,
Yeah.
because I feel like since we were babies, our parents have grown us up in a way that everything that we have done since childhood was given to us equally. Like, whether it was like a toy or it was, anything, or like if we went to get something for ourselves, whether it could be anything, it's always in pairs. So mom and dad always, spoiled us in a way, like always giving, okay, this is for you and this is for you. There was nothing that we had to share. And, but we shared a profession, and we grew up and we started working together. And I feel like in the early years, when we were like probably 17, 18, there were a lot of opportunities coming our way. But the way I feel like the music industry worked at that time was that, only one girl is going to get the part. There was no concept of like duos or bands or anything. And, there's one actress in the movie and there's one actress in that song and she's got one voice. So only one girl is going to get the part. So it was times like this where I feel like it was also a lot of people pitting us against each other, which was
That's another
feel like
level.
that's normal,
That's another thing
though.
to navigate.
yeah. So it was, I think, times like this when we were just called for the same audition and singing the same song one after the other. So it was stuff like that, and
Yeah.
then we really had to sit down and like have a conversation about how we feel about it, because it was obviously a little like anxiety inducing,
Yeah, of course.
because we both want to be singing, and we both wanted, like, we used to perform together all the time. So but we never had a song together. So that was also, that's pretty much when we started that we can, okay, now we can start singing together, we can just make our own music also.
Yeah. What's the biggest difference between performing for Bollywood and producing independent music?
Think-
What's that been like?
The independence and I think the freedom that comes with it, because singing for Bollywood just means that you're ultimately singing for a character, you're singing for a face, you're singing for a situation. And I think independent music, you get to make um, about what you're feeling, your experiences, your growth, your struggle. You can actually write a song about something that makes you laugh, something that makes you smile, the time you fell in love, the time somebody broke your heart. You actually get to talk about personal experiences, and you get to share that with the world. Like, I feel like all our music also in some way have been derived pretty much from personal experiences, and it's an extension of us. But when you're singing for a movie, it's not your composition. Like, it's somebody's song, you're merely singing. So, which is also a lot of fun because you get to be a part of somebody else's record. And I think that's so cool. I think it's such a big responsibility and big shoes to fill, because
Yeah.
if somebody's made and composed a song, I think that's like their baby, right? It's so special to them. And if they've thought of you to come and sing it, that's a huge deal, because they believe that you have the right voice for it. So that's a whole different experience.
And gives you more recognition also,
Yeah.
I feel like film projects definitely have some of the biggest budgets,
Yeah.
that we see in the industry.
Yeah.
And it's a huge success for the people who get to even be playback singers.
That's what I mean, because it's backed by them. They have
Yeah.
the financial
I mean, it's a
resources
short shot.
compared
Like,
to-
that people are going to be hearing this song. Obviously, independent music is independent in so many ways. So you have to put in the work. You have to somewhere put in the money, marketing, and etc. etc. So
It's your name that has to drive.
yes, yeah.
Congratulations on the new release, by the way.
Thank you.
We're definitely going to hear you sing that at the end of it. Having a special preview. But one of my favorite songs is Can't Get Over You.
Oh,
I was listening to that on loop because it also went viral on Instagram. Like,
Yeah.
everyone was using that as
Thank you.
as a backup song, and I'm like, it's such a moment of pride when I see that. Like, when I see your names popping up on Instagram, or when I'm working out and there's like song playing on TV, I'm like, super cool. Like, they're on, they're on the screen.
so sweet.
So
Thank
that's
you.
that's been super cute. Any dream collaborations, that anything you've manifested where you did a project and you're like, wow, I could have only dreamt of this as a child? Pathaan, I guess Pathaan was a huge one.
I mean, 100%. Like, if you want to just before I die sort of a thing, like,
Yeah.
I want to sing in a Shah Rukh Khan movie. And then it just kind of was such a manifestation, honestly, because I remember when that song happened, it happened 2 years before it actually ever released. And I think like there was no Shah Rukh Khan movie for a year and a half, 2 years at
Yeah.
that point or something. And then everybody was kind of talking about, oh my God, Pathaan is coming, and Pathaan, this movie is coming. And I'd only read some news articles about it, but I knew Pathaan is Shah Rukh Khan. And then this one day I was called in to record that song by Vishal and Shekhar. So I got a phone call, and he said, are you free, are you in town? And luckily I was in town, so I made it for that recording. And just 4 hours later, like, we were just jamming on the song. It was such an informal recording, no mention of the actors, no mention of anything, honestly, you know. So it was just we like, and it was honestly like such a rough recording, and I thought like maybe I'm just singing a scratch or something, and I'm gonna come back. And you're never in a position to ask anybody, or like, is my voice going to go through, or like, is this gonna happen, or what movie is this, who's the actor? Like, as a singer, you never really ask those questions. At least I never have in my career, because it's inconsequential. Like, you've been called by Vishal and Shekhar, that was a big deal for me. I just wanted to do a good job. I went back home. But I did hear the word Pathaan a few times. I was singing too much of Pathaan. So I've gone back home and I've Googled and I've told her, you know, maybe it could be that. And then I've forgotten about it. So I feel like that's how manifestation kind of works. Like, you put in your intent,
You do the work.
and then you detach from
Yeah.
it completely. So I never thought that, but how will it happen? Or like, I never gave it any negative energy also, but I was like, I completely detached, and then a year and a half later it released. So yeah,
How did that feel?
so amazing, because I feel like, honestly, for Jhume Jo Pathaan, that song will always feel special because I will read my name on it, but at the same time it was everybody's song, and I feel like it was celebrated so much by everyone. Like, there was like a storm when that song came
Yeah.
out, and everyone all over the world was talking about it. Like, I could not go on Instagram for more than a minute not seeing it for weeks at a stretch. So it was such an iconic moment, and like, I never truly ever get over it. So
Wow.
yeah.
I'm sure there's so many of these goosebumpy moments coming both
goosebumpy.
of your ways.
Goosebumpy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you? Any dream projects, collaborations that you've been a part of, or something that you're manifesting for yourself?
I mean,
Even
there's
today.
so much that we're manifesting for sure. But I think one core memory would be like seeing our names with Dua Lipa. 'Cause,
Ooh, I'd
the-
love that.
That's the
That mean-
collaboration of our lives
Our
for
lives,
us.
yeah.
I think.
I mean, that was really cool. I mean, you know, honestly, the way that it happened, and that also had a very similar story to Jhume Jo Pathaan, because we did it, you know, almost a year and a half, and it was called off. And then suddenly we get a call saying that it's happening. So, you know, when you give up on something and you stop thinking about it, and then somebody calls you up and says that we're still doing it.
Yeah.
So it was almost like a double surprise. You know, one was when this was happening, and then the second surprise was when it was actually happening, because it was so big as a collaboration. We just didn't think it was possible. So I feel like that day when we saw our names next to her and she put us on her Instagram story, that just day will always be very, very iconic.
Have you ever had a moment where you felt like we've made it? Everything you've been through, all the struggles you've seen, the amount of sacrifice and support that your family has also given you. Has there ever been a moment where you felt like all of that was worth it and this is where we are today?
I don't know. I mean, I honestly don't believe in feeling like I've made it ever. Like, that's just a personal theory again. Moments of gratitude, yes. Pockets of feeling like, oh my God, it's paying off, yes. But do I feel like I've made it? No. Because I just think that if I ever, tell myself that I've made it, I'm going to stop wanting to work hard. And that's just like the complete opposite of my personality. Like, you know, I always wake up, and I want to wake up hungry every day. And I want to wake up driven every day. And I just think one way to feel ambitious is to just keep wanting it more, you know, and like not listen to the people who tell you that you can't have it all, because ultimately I want to do it all, right? And I just think if you feel like you've made it, then you're going to be like, I'm happy with this. And that's just personally not something that I want to feel like, or I tell myself. But yeah, there's so many days when things go our way, and, you know, small little things that are not small actually, you know, things that really just happen in your day that just make you feel like, you know, 3 years ago, this was not the case, you know, like nobody spoke to me like that, or this didn't happen, or buying this was difficult, or just small things or big things like that. There are obviously moments of gratitude, but I don't think there was even one day when I feel like I've made it, because that's
I
a
feel
strong
like
thing to
it's
say.
sort of, it's too strong. Like, I remember, Salim Merchant. I'm actually going to quote him because he speaks so much about this, and I've spent so much time with them touring. So he used to be like, you know, anyone who says, "Nah, I have made it," is over. And I've literally, I take that so seriously, because if somebody at that level and at, you know, like how talented he is, and you know how hard he's worked his entire life, if somebody at that level can say that, you know, even he doesn't believe in this concept. So it's just been very personal to me, and I feel like anybody who says I have made it, you know, it just starts going down
Because
from
I
there.
feel like, you know, the phrase "I've made it" really lasts for just that much time. Because then it's going to be like, oh God, I have to make it again. Because everything is so transient, at least in our industry.
That's true.
Like, even if you have the biggest song and you're trending for a little bit, and you know, you're just the hype thing
I
suddenly,
hate this trending for
Yeah.
a little bit.
you know, it dies out. It dies out, and then people are just like saying, "But is she gonna be able to do it again?"
Yeah.
So it really doesn't last, you know.
That
so
amount of
just having
pressure.
that attitude
Yeah.
is a
Yeah.
waste.
That amount of pressure, literally, if you've got one hit, knowing
Yeah.
that everything you put
Yeah.
out has to kind of match up to that, that must be
Yeah.
that must be a huge amount of pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I
Even
do
go
feel
through.
like, you know, and I say this for everybody as artists, I feel like we need to kind of just stop having to prove ourselves all the time. Like, because I think in that process, we just don't even enjoy what we're doing. You know, I feel like that whole thing of like, I have to prove myself really gets in the way of like
Living.
actually loving what you do, you know?
Mm.
Because then you're not enjoying music the way you want to. Like, everything is just an opportunity. And there's nothing wrong with being an opportunist. Like, even I am so many times. But I feel like if we're constantly going to be like, oh my God, I have to prove myself, then it becomes a challenge. And like, some challenges are good. But I feel like all the time, if you feel like, oh my God, I have to prove myself, then it just takes out the fun from like what you're doing.
Doing what
And
you
I
love
have
doing.
faced that so many times. I'm just like, I'm so excited about a song coming out, and then I'm like, oh my God, but this has to be like, this has to make it, this has to reach out. I'm like, poor song, like
Yeah.
let it just live, let it just like be easy. It's like,
Yeah, I
feel
think
so
this is the
personally
very
about it.
difficult part. But I think, you know, like most actors, most singers would relate to this because they have a project that they're anticipating, and then it just sees the light of the day, and then there's so much pressure. Like, is it going to do well? Is it going to get the numbers? Blah blah. But I just like, it's so important to remember why you're doing this, and that's
Yeah.
because you love music. And I feel like for some part and for some time, you just stop enjoying the music part of it because
Yeah.
you're so consumed with the pressure of like how it's going to be taken.
Yeah, like, you know, Prakriti makes such amazing playlists. And very recently I asked her, like, you know, we were just free, and like, I was like, play some music. Like, I want some really good music. I haven't heard music in so long apart from mine, you know? And I'm like, that's so sad because I haven't heard like new good music. And she opened her phone and she's like, oh my God, I haven't like saved any cool songs. It's been a
Yeah.
while. And I'm
Such
like,
a heartbreaking moment even
Yeah.
for me
Yeah.
because it's like my thing. Like, I am like, it makes me the happiest finding new songs that nobody else knows. Like, I can't explain it. It's just my thing. And it could be like Turkish music, it could be Persian, it could be, you know, like Russian music. It just could be beats, it could be global music that I vibe on, that's cool for me. And I do this all the time because this is the way I reference out and, you know, stuff like that. And that day she asked me, and I'm like, I haven't done this in almost a year.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just not
Yeah.
enjoying like music, you know, because I'm just so consumed in making my own.
You're right. When I think your passion becomes work,
yeah.
why you started that, I
Yeah.
think just gets sidelined.
Yeah.
And I remember that when I started writing for work, I used to read for just pleasure. I used to write just for myself.
Wow.
But when there's a monetary number attached to it or there's
Yeah.
quantity attached to it, you're putting so much pressure on art. As you said, poor
Yeah.
song, right? That
Yeah.
song should just be able to live as it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that song has so much pressure put on it to
Yeah.
be a certain thing that it, you know, it could just exist as art.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
But-
remember you telling me that I love just writing. Like, I could just keep writing and writing and writing and writing. And I'm like, wow, I don't know anybody like that, you know?
No,
Like, she's like, I'll just keep writing and writing, and like, I just feel so good writing. So
Well,
I
what do you
hope
love
you're
to
doing
write
it.
about?
I think just what I'm going through, I used to write,
Okay.
I used to do spoken words, I used to do performance poetry
Oh,
as well. But when that
nice.
became work,
Yeah.
it sort of just took away the joy. You know, from it. And I was like, I
Yeah.
don't remember the last time I took picture not for Instagram, you know, like I just took I took
Yeah.
something not
my
to
God.
show it to someone else.
When was the last time you took a picture that was not for Instagram?
Yeah, you
There
know,
would be
it's
you know, honestly,
yeah.
Instagram is such a chore for me now. It's just like, you have to do it because otherwise it's like people ask you, "Are you okay? Are
Exactly.
you unwell or something?" And I'm like, "No, I'm just like."
Just feeding the
I don't
beast,
wanna
right? It's become
post.
about consistency. It's become
Yeah.
work. It's become another like avenue
Yeah.
where you put out your work.
100%.
So it's taken the fun out of why we used to do it, which is
Yeah.
just to show our friends that
Yeah.
we're living our best lives and doing that. And
Or
we
just
would
reading
still
something
that.
back or seeing something back for yourself in that moment and feeling great.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
do you bring joy back into the work that you do?
Detox. I mean, honestly, like Sukriti and I, we both, I think, would agree on one thing, that we love the idea of getting out of the country or getting out of the city, and like quite literally taking the D&D mode. Like, I know it only lasts for 2 days or 3 days, because after that we only start feeling anxious, like, oh my god, we have to
We
get
have to
back to
get back.
work, we have to, like, call a few people. And but I think those 2 days can really refresh you. And I just think that little bit of an unplug is good from
We're
situations.
like both big indulgers. Like whatever we're doing, like if we are, we just, whether it's food, whether it's traveling, whether it's like, we like all our senses activated and just like not this one, we're both like twins and like we indulge together. So like we'll go and have a good meal, or we'll go
Yeah.
out, or like anything just to distract us from, like, because I feel like
All the
there's so
noise.
much
Noise.
Yeah, exactly. There's
Yeah.
just so much noise all around us. So I think in order to feel inspired to even write music, exactly, this is exactly what we do, and it works
Yeah.
every single time.
Before we dive into the gender segment, which is like the biggest chunk, so
Yeah.
we'll get through that. But I do want to ask you, what does success mean to you in that sense?
Yeah.
Because is it awards? Is it fame? Is it trending for a while? Is it having the biggest
Yeah.
hitting the charts? Right?
Yeah.
Is it that, or what does success mean to both of you?
Honestly, I think about this all the time, so I'm so happy you asked this. But I feel like success to me means I love human connection. Like I feel like that's my purpose in so many ways, because I feel like more than anything else, when I am with a person and they tell me that either they have connected with me in the past or they've connected with my music, I feel like, and if I've made some sort of a difference in their life, like whether they've felt really good hearing my music, or they connected to like what I went through and it like helped them in any way, I feel like that is the true like success. Because I feel like music can do that. Music has done that to me. Like music has been there for me in so many times, like
all
so,
my
so
breakups.
many times.
Yeah.
Through all of my
Exactly.
breakups.
What
literally.
else do you have at that point anyway?
Yeah,
So
so
it's
I feel like connection with people that I don't know
Yeah.
would be the true like purpose for me.
So it's
Through
the
music or
empathy.
through anything.
It's the feeling that it can convey without
Yeah,
you
or just
being.
maybe just make them feel better about something, if it's 3 minutes of a song or like a genuine conversation or stuff like that. I feel like awards and all would matter to us a lot for majority of our lives.
Yeah.
But I feel like we've like tried, like understood that we're more interested in rewards from what we are doing. So yeah.
Yeah, I think when you were younger, we used to really envision and dream about, the best singer goes to, or like the sensation of the year and stuff like that. And I think
it will still happen at some point.
it can still happen, but I feel like that time that was just what success meant to us. And I feel like the older that we're getting, a lot of other things also matter, like peace of mind and like happiness and like how you feel about yourself at the end of the day and stuff like that, which has really not been important. But I just think when you get so overwhelmed with life and with your work, I feel like we find purpose in our music, and I feel like that's just been what success really means to us.
I love both of your definitions of success, but do you think that success was anytime overshadowed knowing that Didi already had a successful music career? Did people make assumptions about how easy it must have been for both of you all, or the fact that you already had a path or a role model or someone to guide you throughout? Did that success ever feel like it was overshadowed?
I think the problem is that we think we know people. I feel like we make that mistake also. Like you look at somebody and you feel like you know things about them, but you don't really know. And I feel like for majority of our lives, people have made assumptions about me and Prakriti, you know, that we've probably always had a very cushioned lifestyle. And I don't think we've really ever gone and spoken about the things that we have faced or the struggles we've had or, you know, things like that. We probably kind of make it look easy in a way, I feel, because there's so many people that come up to us and say, you guys are so well groomed and you all always
Yeah,
take care of yourselves
get
so
that.
well. Like, how do you all know? These are the things that I would like, you know, thank my sister for, because I feel like we literally saw all of this in front of us, you know, like I saw. So of like, definitely when it's about my sister, she always made sure that we don't repeat the same mistakes that she would have probably made. So I think it was just more like a learning lesson for us, a learning curve for us, that okay, you know, but the times had changed so much by the time we wanted to start working. Like, she's 9 years older than us.
Yeah.
You know, I'm talking about a time we went from CDs to digital music. So it was literally that much time. And the way, like, I remember, if for her finding out, you know, music directors in a unknown city was Yellow Pages, for us it kind of reached a place where you could mail people and say that I want to
Or
work
like get
with you
numbers
guys.
from
Yeah.
a lot
Yeah.
of people. So I think what we're trying to say is that, you know, this is an industry where, like, the max that somebody can help you with is a meeting, right? What happens after that meeting is you have to prove yourself, and, you know, like, you really have to prove yourself behind the mic, and that no influence can actually do that for you, because ultimately, like, in our industry also, you know how actors have auditions, in singers there are scratches. The same song that you hear, a lot of singers sing, and then the music director, you know, sort of decides who's the right voice for the track. So we've done that for like so many songs, and we continue to do that because that's a format. So I feel like, you know, there's a lot of learning that's happened and that's unfolded in the first few years of our career. And, you know, we're actually super glad that we had our elder sister to share that with. So I feel like a lot of people till today, a lot of managers come up to us and say that, you know, y'all are so groomed, we don't have to groom you. So I feel like that grooming is just something that we've taken from our elder sister.
I remember this really crazy memory because at this point, you know, I think we were 16 or something, and so we had started singing a lot of background scores for a lot of movies, like all the big songs that, you know, you would hear. There is chorus section, so me and Prakriti would be called. We were the chorus singers for a very long time. You know, those three singers, backup singers who always sing, and whether, you know, it's some setup like Coke Studio and different things like that. So for like 2 years, we were always singing like backgrounds for movies and chorus, and we would also sing some ad jingles here and there, you know. So that was happening, and we decided that okay, maybe this is the career that we're going ahead with, and we'll see. But and we also started performing at a lot of restaurants and bars. So like every weekend we made this small band, and we would just go and sing on a Friday night, Saturday night, and
Like,
yeah.
honestly, real hustle.
Yeah.
That I'm sure so many people like wouldn't even associate or, you know, think about it. Like, oh,
Yeah.
you know, they just were born into this and they got groomed into this and must have like
Not at
hit
all.
a straight
Not at all. I was 16 when my father sat me down and he said, okay, now we have a situation. I feel like y'all are great singers, I think. So we should try and experiment if y'all can do live shows. And we just said, oh, but what are the kind of songs that like I know? Like, so he said that, you know, I have a friend's wedding and I'm pitching you guys. Let's just try this out. So my first show ever was, you know, my dad's friend's wedding. And I realized that time that we just had to be on stage. Obviously nobody knew us, so we had to do like 90 minutes and sing all of these songs that I personally didn't like, you know. So it was a bit of an effort that okay, this is how it is. So I feel like we got our training from like really before, and at the same time I was doing weddings, but at the same time I wanted to do something more for us, you know, which is a little bit more of our sound. So we made this indie band. We put together a band and we were performing at a lot of restaurants and bars every Friday, Saturday,
so cool.
Sunday.
Which
So I
was just
singing-
English music, which was like we're blowing off all the steam there, like doing what we love and just like, you know, singing the songs and calling our friends because nobody else would just show up anyway. Because, you know, people just come to restaurants and eat and have a beer and go back home. But our friends were so supportive, they would show up every Saturday night and would be a great show. And then we would go back to doing and singing songs that, we don't
Weddings.
usually love, but
Yeah.
we have to sing it. And I think that's been such an amazing experience for us because, we were so like two singers, sisters who probably didn't think we were ever going to sing.
And no
are-
songs of their own also.
and have obviously no songs of their own, but are singing, let's say for instance, like mehndi songs at a haldi mehndi event. We had no idea that that's how life would pan out to be. But of course, like we had to support our family. Second, we were finally building our funds to be able to start something of our own, which is either release an album or fund our own independent music at the time. Because I think the goal even back then was to make music together, do our
Yeah.
music videos, get a label to get interested in us so they can probably release an album for us or do some music videos and have that life. And I think all of these have sort of in some way been just building blocks to having that life.
Yeah, but our parents were super strict with us. And I feel like for the longest period of time, mom didn't want us to be singers.
Really?
So she said that we already have a singer in the family. Why don't you all try to do different things? And I said, yeah, okay, maybe I'm actually open to it. But, I'm like, I just want to explore this on the side for as long as possible. And my dad on the other side would always tell me that, listen, your first show is going to be your last show if you don't get serious. So he used to always keep scaring us so much that, so we literally started taking this as, okay, now we are transitioning from being kids to, kids who are working. And I want to take this as seriously as possible. And it was literally around that time, I remember my sister, who had like this amazing career going on for her, and I would just look at her and I'm like, I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if I will get as many opportunities as she's getting. She sat me down and she's like, what's happening? And I'm like, nothing, I'm going and meeting a friend or something stupid like that. And she's like, open your phone. And I was like, okay. She's like, who have you messaged this week? And I'm like,
Wow.
she's like,
who am I supposed to
you have to message people to get work. So start right now. You're going to message 10 people in this week and you're going to show me what they have replied. And you have to tell them, hi, I'm Sukriti. This is what I sound like. Send your demo and say that I really want to come in. If there's a possibility of me ever singing something, please let me know. I would love to try something for you. She literally wrote that message for me. I have copy pasted it to 10 people and I had heard from like 2 people back. But like literally so when I say my sisters like helped me, it's in ways like that,
Yeah.
just pushing me
100%.
as a mother, literally. But yeah, it was very, very intense.
I love that so much. That's what I mean. Just the solidarity, the female
Yeah.
solidarity that you felt growing up.
Yeah.
From your dad being so supportive to having an army of women around you
Yeah.
that pushed you all the way through, and from singing at haldi functions to being on the cover of Spotify Equal, that I think promotes female voices in the
Yes.
industry.
Yeah.
What has that been like? Because you've both also been such big advocates of
Yeah.
supporting more
Yeah.
female musicians as well.
Yeah, I think it's just a great platform that sort of stands for and endorses, the equality for women in music. So I just think women in music is just a topic that a lot of people are, now really touching upon, because I just think it needs to be spoken about more. It just, ultimately it's 2024. It's time that we have equal representation when it comes to male and female songs, or just more female led songs. I understand for Bollywood that needs to probably start with female led movies, which I think is happening finally. But I still think the soundtracks for such female led films are still sung by men,
Yeah.
So it's just inequality in small pockets like that. But I just think on a larger note, and I think the macro of this would just be that there's a playlist on Spotify that really, really talks about equal representation for women, and we got to be on the face of that. And it's just, this is actually happening for the second time. The first time was in 2021, so it just feels great to be affiliated with something as great and powerful.
Yeah, because I didn't know this until I was looking this up. I just wanted to know what the gender parity, what gender equity is like in this space, and I found out that 78 to 80% of top artists are male.
Yeah, in
There's only
India.
I think this is globally.
Oh,
Globally,
okay.
78 to 80% of top artists are male. 20 to 22% are just female top artists. That's about it. Male artists receive about 80 to 83% of airplay.
Wow.
And there's about 87% of songwriters are men.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And about 97% of music producers are men as well.
Yeah. This is crazy.
I don't know how we're navigating this in 2024.
This
I'm
is
gonna-
global,
Yeah.
yeah? This is global.
This is global, but
My
I think
God.
the Indian numbers either look very similar or
I
are
think
slightly
it's pretty
worse.
similar. I'll actually start from the last thing that you said, the 97%
7%.
of the music producers are male.
Yeah.
It's because, whenever you go to a studio and there's an engineer sitting in the studio, it's always a man. It's just, I think people have looked at it that it's not designed for a girl. Like,
Or it's
and-
like a man's job.
yeah.
And I don't know why that is. Like, ultimately, it's a console, there are lots of buttons, But the same thing applies for being a pilot too. You know what I'm saying? And the representation of women in every other field is just somehow so much more than music producers, And
But when you think of a music producer, you always imagine
A
a
man,
male.
yeah.
So I feel like if you want to make a difference, it kind of has to begin with us.
yeah.
And I feel like our biggest drawback is that if we knew that we were going to be making independent music, like from the go, because at one point we thought, playback is the only way to go. But like now independent music is so big, we would have just learned music production. So even we aren't music producers, but it's just something that I feel like every up and coming musician should just know, because it would honestly be so much fun to learn.
It's fun, and I think it just makes you very self-sufficient. You get to park so many songs because, again, you're dependent on somebody else to finish it for you.
Yeah,
You
produce
have
it
you
for
have a
you.
great idea, but like if you don't know how to make a beat yourself, or you don't know how to lay out the chords, of course basic everybody knows, but like for a song to sound full and final, you need somebody professional to do the job. And unfortunately that professional is always a man, which is not such a bad thing, because we've also found some amazing people we've met along the way who are very, very good at what they do. But I just think what we struggle with the most is not having enough female writers and like lyricists, because like in India for some reason there are not a lot of female pop stars, as opposed to in the West. There's so many pop acts that are just female, and you go to their concerts. I mean, talk about Taylor Swift, or you talk about Tate, you talk about Tyla, there's Sabrina Carpenter, like the
Yeah.
list just goes on. And also like at the time of like the Madonnas and the Whitney Houston, the Britney Spears, like you name it all, they've always been like this pop act that you want to go and watch. But in India, unfortunately, there aren't. Because I just think it's not about the people, it's about the songs, the music that really we make. We don't have females writing it for us. Ultimately, there's a man writing songs for us. So,
Yeah.
it's not really coming from us.
It's not coming from the
it's
female
not
POV.
coming from, it's not coming,
resonate.
like our perspective can obviously come through, but at the end of the day, like most of our songs are also written by men.
Yeah.
So I just think if we have more representation in terms of lyricists, which are women, that just come in and start doing more of this. I just personally always have thought that there's a dearth of lyricists just in general, but female lyricists are like almost down to zero. I would love to meet some.
Yeah, because that's at every
female-
level, as you're saying.
yeah.
It's artists, it's producers, it's songwriters, composers. I think it just goes on every
Yeah.
level
Yeah.
to just
Yeah.
show the percentage and the gap that there is. How do we begin to change that?
I think I feel like the young up and coming female musicians need to write their own music and release it and not be scared, because I feel like I meet so many people and I interact with them and everybody just kind of feels a little hesitant to put out their music. And I feel like we just need to hear more, like, and I'm saying this even to ourselves, we just need to hear more like what females sound like, what females want, what, like, when we write a song, the first thing is like, what are we feeling, what do we want to talk about, and things like that. So I feel like it's so easy when you hear a guy just talking about anything, and like, whether he's in love, whether he's not in love, whatever it is, he's feeling, it's so much easier for them to just kind of say things,
Yeah.
as opposed to when we start thinking about what we want to write about in songs. It's we think a lot.
Yeah.
Like, should we say this?
And
Should
it's
we
not just
say
thinking
this?
a lot, it's also like this fear of judgment, like, but this is what I'm feeling, but if I actually put this in a song, would they think I'm crazy? Because like we've heard men talk about it, but like as women, should we do it? That's always like a lingering thought, and that just needs to change, so just I think, even I would say this for ourselves, we just need to be a little more unabashedly us, and like just a little more unapologetic with writing lyrics, because ultimately it's art, it's gonna stay. If it works, it works. It doesn't, it misses, it's fine. You write another song. But I just think there should be like more songs about how females really feel,
So much yes to that.
after a heartbreak, while falling in love, like all of it, everything
even
in the
day
middle.
before my period, for that matter.
Yeah.
That's
That's
what
crazy.
about
We need a song for everything.
Thank you.
We don't really have it.
The entire cycle. I think everything we
Yeah.
go through in that
Yeah,
month, I don't
yeah.
think anyone understands that except
Because women are more
except us.
emotional
That's so
than
good
men.
topic
Yeah.
to talk about. I need to make a song on that.
Are we doing a period song?
Yeah,
why
that's what
not?
there has to be a PMS song. I can't believe there's just vacuum in that area. Like,
Yeah.
the whole category,
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just
Even
wow.
our last song, in fact, like it's called Tu Kahe To, and so a lot of people were like, girls were tagging us last night, and the lyrics go like, Tu Kahe To Chantare Bhi Tod La Hu Main.
We want to hear you
So-
sing that.
Yeah,
no, say that.
no, it's
out
like,
loud. We
no
wanna hear
girl
you sing
really
that.
says that, and I'm like, why should guys only say that, right? Like, I mean, I also can be crazily in love that I want to do that. It's
For
not
someone.
a guy's job to like
Bring
do
you
the
Chanda.
impossible.
Yeah.
bring you the world at your
Yeah.
feet, Just gender roles can be how you want them to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, in a song also.
What's your female anthem? What do you listen to when you want to feel empowered? Like who's your female champion?
So many, man. I feel I love hearing Dua Lipa because I feel like she's just so bold.
It just makes me want to go and like just
Yeah.
get shit done.
Yeah.
I want to be at like my
Yeah.
absolute best. and
Yeah,
Yeah, when you think
100%.
of
Be all
Dua Lipa,
charged
you
up.
don't think like she'll just laugh and smile. You
Yeah.
know, she's just
Yeah, she means business.
she means business. And recently, I feel also Sabrina Carpenter. I love her music.
So we
Feel like
love
it's
pop
very
music.
chill.
Yeah, we
Overall,
love pop music.
Yeah.
That's
Pop girls.
I would love for there to be a concert all over India where I just come to watch you both. Like I'd love a Swiftie
Aww.
version of like this happening in India.
Actually, I'm waiting for
And-
something to happen in Bombay so you can come because that would be such a fun experience. Even for us, like it's been a while we've done like a public show
In
in
Bombay. Yeah.
that everybody, close to us can come.
I think when you make that whole album about a women's cycle,
Yeah.
we'll make a whole show just
Yeah.
around that and have that
Yeah, like
Yeah.
why not?
Why
all
not?
over. No, that's super cool. Do you see yourself consciously or intentionally breaking stereotypes that exist about women in this industry, or do you feel like you have to break that ceiling every time you step onto that stage? Were there any preconceived notions about any gendered preconceived notions about being in this industry?
I think it's just the way females and women are perceived to be, right? Like they'll be super coy, they'll be super shy, they'll not be like, it's things like that. Like your particular, like your behavior has to be a certain way. And then when people meet you and they're like, oh, you're very different, you're very like chilled out, and I don't know, it can be like perceived as like not a good thing sometimes, or so it's small things like that. And yeah, what do you think?
I don't think like I feel like with every single release we're trying to, I mean, at this point, break our own stereotype. And I think when we talk about, I'm just like with every release that we're doing, we're kind of just breaking away from how people heard us last. Because, that's just the thing. Like in our industry, you can get stereotyped. And we're used to being playback singers first. Like I said, that's how we pretty much started. And, in most songs, it's like a male song at the end of the day, and like a lot of times females pretty much just come in the verse for about 3 to 4 lines, and then it's a male song again, so I feel like a lot of females that are releasing music today are very unconsciously breaking stereotypes only because they're making complete female-led songs and complete solo female songs, which is not very digestible even today for people. It's still new, and I'm sure in years to come it's going to be completely normal. But I think
I hope those years to come are soon.
yeah.
Like that's all.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah, because when you see a song and you see one name next to it, which is a woman, you don't believe it. because you're just like, okay, but who wrote it? Who composed it? Who produced it? You know, how can she do everything? That's still a concept. Even to me, I would be shocked if I see it. So, you know, if I see that, I'll just be like, wow, this person is completely breaking every
Like,
gender
we
stereotype.
just kind of need to start from a place where we and I feel like everybody, even behind this camera, everybody, all of us, start listening and make space when you hear music to just hear more girl songs. And I've done this experiment with my friends, you know, and I've seen, I'm like, show me your playlist, what are you hearing to these days? And I only see guy songs. I literally just see guy songs. So I'm like, it's people like even your own friends, you know, you have to make an appetite for it. You have to like listen to more girls in general. So I feel like it's a movement. It will take time. We're all here for it. We're going to be doing, but also we need the support of our listeners and audiences more than anything else, because that's what really makes us. Like,
Yeah.
we are literally nothing without the people who listen to us
That's so true.
and our audiences. So
Which is why I
Yeah.
love Spotify equal. I love that so much.
Such a great initiative.
Every time I'm getting ready, I'm doing my hair and makeup, I just want to listen to a female voice. I don't
Yeah.
think a male
So
voice like does
nice.
justice to
Yeah.
blow drying your hair, getting your nails
Yeah.
done.
And then
no,
like
you don't
females
understand.
all across the world,
Yeah.
like from every part of the world, and it's only females in
Yeah.
that playlist, and just new music to discover. So I think that's really cool.
I try
Yeah.
to do this intentionally, but I think it's also because of how I look at music. Every time
Yeah.
I put a music on my Instagram reel or pictures or
Yeah.
whatever, I want it to be a female voice. Every time when someone sends me,
That's
"Oh,
so
you
nice.
like put this, put that," I'm like, no, but it's not a female voice, so it's not gonna go up there. Oh my god, here we go again. Like we need to. 'Cause I
That's
ask my
so
friends for
cool.
recommendations, and you know they
Yeah.
listen to cool music.
We
Yeah.
need
And I
more
love
Shreyas.
indie music. So I'm like, yeah, I mean, just start from maybe your Instagram. That if you're
Yeah.
picking a music, you're picking a trending song, whatever
Yeah.
that might be, but pick a female voice.
Yeah.
And
It's not that
That's so
hard.
nice.
It's really
though, because you
not.
said Instagram, and you know, we're living in times where Instagram is your place of discovery for music. Like we use it as a tool to promote our songs, but most people find out new music on Instagram.
That's
So
true,
if
with
more people
Reels.
do that, that's
Right?
great for us.
Reels
Yeah.
have
In
become
fact,
like a
now
new
when
way
you
of-
open Instagram and
Yeah.
you go on the song, you press on the song, there's this
Spotify.
little Spotify button right next to the song. So you just have to press that Spotify, it's in your liked songs. And I think that's such a cool feature, because the whole thing of like typing the same song on Spotify goes out the window. So you just like kind of keep adding whatever you're hearing, and yeah, add my song.
That's a strong CTA to the camera. Listen,
Somebody had to say
brother, right now. Because I read this, and I read this quote, and I love it so much. It says, diversity is having a seat at the table, inclusion is having a voice, and belonging is having that voice be heard. I love that so much.
That's
nice.
so beautiful.
That's we
So nice.
definitely need more of that. I'm sure it takes like a village to look so put together.
Best
on
part
the
about
stage.
being twins is a double wardrobe. I'll tell you that. Like it's just, and luckily, like shoe size, other sizes,
Everything
is
is same.
So it's like it's a mess, but
Yeah.
it's a lot of fun, because double the clothes, double the friends.
Oh god, that's the only thing I miss, because I've got a sister-in-law. I grew up with an older brother,
Yeah.
and my sister-in-law is like 5'11", so she's so tall. I don't fit into her clothes. Her shoe size is like 3 times bigger than mine, because we can't share.
Aw.
We can't share shoes.
What's your shoe
sizes.
size?
38?
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah, same. Okay, I'm
Yeah.
moving into whatever the third room that you have in
Yeah.
the house. I'm definitely moving in.
You gotta
Whenever
play
Popcorn can live with me. If
Oh,
that's-
yeah.
in the
Yes,
other-
of
in
course.
the
We'll,
other-
we'll plan it like
the
that.
other room. So I love the shared wardrobe thing.
Yeah.
It's the
It's-
original definition of sustainability, if you ask me. Like I
Yes.
think
Oh,
it's just
yeah.
sharing, having
Yeah.
having a shared wardrobe.
Yeah.
So please continue doing whatever you're doing on
Wow.
that. On
Wow, I
that
did not
front.
Yeah, we
think
should just
about it
never
like that.
throw clothes away, because you know, like randomly, like trends come back, and I'm like, gotta be more
Honestly.
sustainable.
That's
Like
true.
now
Love
everyone's
that word.
wearing low-waisted pants.
Yeah.
I'm
Again,
like, why did I throw mine away? I have to buy again from Zara. Like, why am I
it's
doing
not bad
this?
from Zara. That's
Yeah.
one thing you're taking away
Yeah?
from here, is you're not shopping from fast fashion brands anymore.
Oh, really?
It's, I mean, I think it's the worst in terms of human rights, labor, slavery, environmental pollution.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
I mean, the clothes are cheap because someone else is paying the price for it, right?
Hmm.
And they don't pay their laborers,
Yeah.
even like a decent.
I didn't know
minimum
this.
wage. It's really bad. I'll send you
I
like a
need to
full
like
stat
read up
on-
about
yeah,
this
yeah.
for sure.
You can buy it from anywhere else except Zara, H&M, Shein, Boohoo.
So what's left? Where do you go?
Online brands.
Send me
There's so
Independent
many,
brands.
actually. You need to do like a deep research,
Yeah.
and then
That's the only thing.
This
I
is
was
send
saying.
me
we
whatever
should
you're
talk
reading
about.
though. Like, I'm
I'll send you that. I'll also
Yeah,
send you a
delete the
bunch
app,
of like
Zara,
cool.
from your phone first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Please. If that's one thing that happens out of this podcast is you stop
Yeah.
wearing fast fashion clothes, I would love that. That's my ask
Zara.
for equal.
That's crazy.
We're
I
not
mean, the only
promoting
thing I
that.
really like about it is the fact that it's like you ordered one day, it's and you're home the next
Yeah.
day. You know, like
Yeah.
so the
I
fast
think
bit.
That's what
is-
it's meant to be, to make it convenient for you
Yeah.
to, be addicted to it, but it's definitely not sustainable. There are a
Yeah.
lot of cool homegrown Indian
There
brands.
are,
Yeah.
actually.
You do
yeah.
so many reels and like so many posts on them. So I'm gonna like
Yeah,
thoroughly,
so all my
like-
clothes have to be vegan. They have to be sustainable. My stylist is literally right here, so I think we have a list of fabrics we send to brands where we say we don't work with silk, we don't wear suede, we don't wear leather, we don't wear blah
you're
blah blah. So
joking.
we
Like your day to day, like daily.
yeah.
No,
Yeah,
but like
'cause
not
all-
just in shoots, but like what you wear every day.
No,
also.
every day it's like has to be no leather,
Okay.
no nothing, no animal product. So we do a lot of, I think, research in terms
you
of
have
how
a
we work with
special
and what
place
we.
in heaven.
I swear, same.
And we have a seat reserved in hell.
That is not true. That is definitely not true. We're all going up there together and
Wow.
having a concert and
Yeah.
having a female-led, only
that
female-only
would be
concert in
on the
heaven.
clouds.
Because I think that's the utopia. We probably have to wait to
Yeah.
heaven to get to that utopia.
That's crazy. I'm still stuck at the fact that you don't shop from Zara. So
No,
I'm still there.
it's been 10 years. It's honestly been 10 years since I stepped into Zara, H&M, or any of these fast fashion.
But then
'Cause
how do you
once
like sometimes get to know? Like you probably must be having clothes from
old clothes I have from 10 years ago, I
Yeah.
still have those, but
Okay.
I've never deliberately bought from Zara again. Because when you know what you know, you're like, I'm not supporting that industry.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't want to support child
What
labor,
about
I
like your
don't wanna
denims and
support-
stuff?
There's a really
There
cool
are a
brand
lot
called
of
Melodrama.
Huh?
Melodrama.
I
Melodrama
know
is pretty cool.
Melodrama, yeah. They do
Um,
crazy denims.
Can we send them a bunch of lists, please? Like
Yeah, I would
brands
love
that
to.
we
Love
work
to
with.
explore.
Dive deep on
Denims,
this.
cool Indian brands, vegan brands.
Haven't. Rising. I've heard that. Big I haven't.
Yeah.
I'm like I
You're
would
getting
love to.
bombarded. You're gonna get bombarded by
Yeah.
sustainable Indian homegrown brands. at
Yeah.
the
What
end.
about
they
makeup and
never-
stuff?
Makeup?
Yeah.
Ton of
Makeup is
vegan
everything
makeup. There's
vegan.
And most is
cruelty-free
yeah,
now.
cruelty free vegan makeup.
Indian makeup is generally cruelty free, but it's not necessarily vegan. They use honey, they use milk products, they use
Okay.
whatever. So if it says vegan or certified,
Honey is not vegan.
honey is not vegan.
Why?
Anything that comes from an animal is not vegan. So it's
Oh
it's
my god! I thought it's
technically-
only milk.
No, it's milk, cheese, ghee, paneer, butter, wool, leather, suede, silk. What am I missing? Honey, yeah, honey. Is a
I'm
big-
so shocked.
so
Honey
literally
is
anything
not
that comes from
vegan.
an animal is not vegan. So people think it's
The
just
honey's
diet.
not tortured for it.
But what
No,
about
they are-
organic honey?
They are killed. Nothing. There's no organic, grass-fed, sustainable, ethical, humane. There's no such thing. So if you look at the process, it's actually food for them for winter, right? That we take away.
Honey
so
is food for the bees.
honey is food for the bees for the winter. So they like work. The honeybees work, and
But
the queen bee
bees
works.
have honey.
Bees produce honey.
They
from,
produce honey, but they don't
from the
have
flower.
honey.
No. So we take that away. We basically take that winter supply of food away, and they clip the mother bee's wings so she can't move around. And it's technically honey is considered like bee vomit. So if you actually look at like how honey is made and what it really
Yeah.
is, you'll be like, I don't wanna have that. So there's reels coming your way, vegan
Oh my
reels
God,
coming.
My phone
There's
has heard this. My
sustainability.
ago's gone.
Yeah. Oh my god.
This
like,
is how I make you vegan 101.
like
So
I
there's
feel like
gonna be-
Instagram is so smart. If it listens to us, everyone's gonna be vegan because they'll see those videos.
No,
that
but
you're
now
not
I'm just
supposed
making
to.
a group chat and sending you videos
Yeah.
every
We
day,
must
right?
have a group actually.
Yeah,
together.
we're doing
She's
it
like
in
that
chat.
friend of ours.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be that activist friend of ours
Oh my
that comes
God.
to every party to ruin the party. This is not vegan. This is not sustainable. This is
my
going out of the
God.
window.
But I saw you in Singapore or somewhere having some crazy looking desserts and they were all vegan.
It was
and
mad.
I was looking at all that food and I'm like, where do you find this?
I will send everything your way if I have your
But
address.
actually,
Like
the
it's
more
all.
I travel, I literally realize like the plant-based everything everywhere is so easy.
Yeah.
That's true.
Like,
When you travel, there's a whole different
everywhere.
menu for plant-based,
Yeah.
options.
But
So-
in our culture, it's like your chaat is vegan, idli dosa is vegan, your all your sabzis without ghee, like they're vegan. So just about
It's easier.
just switching. It's
Yeah,
much easier in
easy,
India
yeah.
for sure. But I'm gonna send you cheese. I'm gonna send you vegan cheese.
Is there
Cheese I wanna
vegan
try,
ghee?
actually.
There's vegan ghee. So there's a little there's a vegan package coming your way, and there's a
Yeah.
list of sustainable brands that's coming your way for sure.
Great.
So this is activism 101.
Yeah.
Starting
Wow.
here and now, with Zara pants going out of the window. But
This is the whole life change, not lifestyle.
love it. I'm gonna do a quick rapid fire before we end this. It's not really gonna be a rapid fire because
Yeah.
usually longest. I'll see how quick
Who's
you
answering
are.
first?
That's
Whatever.
the older sibling.
Yeah, biological.
Yeah,
order.
biological
Yeah,
older
yeah.
sibling.
Love it.
What unusual object would your sister use to create a new musical instrument?
She would use. Oh my gosh.
Is
maybe
she
it's like a
obsessed with
feather
her?
or
She's
something like
Feather.
that?
Feather has a sound. That's
She's
interesting.
like all these like dream catchers and feathers in her room. So
You're just like a
yeah.
brush away or something
Yeah.
on a
Yeah.
track.
Yeah. You said unusual object.
Okay,
Feathers,
fair. I'll
very
give I'll
unusual.
give her that.
Yeah.
I'll give her
Yeah.
that.
Sukriti would probably use her Dyson. She's obsessed with it. I don't know. Yeah.
If that was, she would win that round.
Yeah.
I'll give it to her.
Told
I'll
you
give it
she's
to her
the
for
funnier
sure.
one.
If you could swap lives for a day, what's the first thing you'd do?
Swap lives,
Swap
with
lives,
each
yeah.
other.
What do you do alone?
I don't know. That's crazy. Like, I have never been asked this. It's
Is there anything about her life that intrigues you that you'd be like, oh, if I was Sukriti for a day, I'd do this, this, this. And you could do anything and get away with it because you're doing it
I know
under
what
her
I'd
name.
do.
So you could get away with the crime because
I
like
know what I'd
Sukriti's
do.
What would
committing
you
it.
do?
I would take your phone and reply to people. Because honestly, she has to be reminded to reply to people. And then I hear for it, sometimes it's like y'all don't reply. And I'm like, but I do, And
I'm
she
so
doesn't.
terrible with WhatsApp. It's like, I see everything. So I know what's happening. But like they don't know what's happening because I'm like in my head I'm mentally replying to all of them like I'll be there by 3 and but it's just like it never goes through because it's not typed out. I'm a very like pick up the call
I'd
on me and
also,
always
like,
answer, but
reach
texting is
everywhere.
just not my thing.
It's telepathy.
Yeah.
It's texting
Yeah.
telepathy for you. That you should just get it. You should just get
People
one.
should just have it.
Dhaval, I'm going to talk to you instead. I'm going to communicate with you.
Yeah.
I think if you were Sukriti for a day, what would you do?
I think she's just a person who really gives great advice to most of our friends. She's very like solid and people listen to her. Like usually her advice is super nice. So I would just really give lots of advice to some of my friends and just in return try to feel what it feels like, when they just follow everything I say.
Wow. I'm just shocked.
Therapy. I'm coming here for therapy.
Oh, God.
What is the one thing that you may have accepted in a relationship before that you will no longer accept today, knowing what you know?
I think disrespect in any way.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Learn that the hard way.
Learn that the hard way.
Yeah.
I feel like I've been quite disrespected in the past, and I thought it was okay or out of love, but I don't have tolerance for it anymore, for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a big one. That's a big one to unlearn.
Yeah. Because it just
Yeah.
kind of stays with you, right?
Yeah.
You can't just drop it off.
What about you?
I think one thing I'm not going to be willing to take in my relationship anymore would just be, like double standards and just overall very flakiness. Like I need to be with somebody really, really solid and very put together, like saying something and doing the complete opposite. I had that. And I just let it go for a lot of years because in my head it was like a project, like I'll make this right, I'll fix this, and I just don't want to be that anymore, so and also cheating.
Yes. Oh my God. Such a
Like, let's just say it,
non-negotiable.
right? That's just
I can't
like-
believe we have to say it, but
Yeah,
an
like-
absolute non-negotiable.
Yeah, loyalty is just, it's like you don't ask for it, you get it, or you don't. But you don't ask for it. As girls, that's just number one.
That's true. We hope that it's just a given, right? But there's so many
Yeah.
things that we take for granted that
Yeah.
have to be spelled out.
Yeah.
Hate this stuff.
But it's a learning. I mean, it's
Yeah.
such a long process of
Yeah.
being in the wrong relationships and then knowing what you like and what you don't like.
Yeah, I
and
think that's
respecting yourself.
I feel like
over
we've
time.
also had such a long conversation about
Yeah.
this in the past where like I feel like being in like not the most pleasant situations have made us realize and value probably what's good for us, And I feel like if I, talking for myself, didn't have any experiences like that in the past, then I would just take something that I probably have now for granted. So I know
That's
the
so
difference.
true. That's
I really
so
know
true.
the difference.
Definitely.
You're gonna have all those dirty relationships to appreciate somebody really nice.
That's true.
And it just takes a few relationships to lead you to the main guy, right? I think that happens with everybody. It's just, but that's the only way it needs to happen.
Yeah, that's what we spoke about. Because
Yeah.
I remember saying that I never want to feel like I'm not enough. I never want to feel like I'm not good enough, or that I'm asking for too much, or that when I'm asking for the bare minimum, that you're asking for a lot. Like there's so many things you learn to say no to over time that you just know how to ask for. Not even, it's not even about asking, it's about finding someone that won't make you feel like you're asking for
Also,
too
I
much.
feel like, and I'm talking for all three of us, I feel like we're confident women. But I feel like when you're not in the right relationship, like you completely lose your personality. And I
100%.
have been there, So
Yeah.
I literally feel like I was just not me. And if that's happening, then, you need to let go. Like that's completely, like I completely became the personality of the other person and just not me anymore. So,
It chips away at your self-esteem,
Yeah.
as you were saying.
yeah, and then
but-
obviously you'll not feel good enough because you're just not good yourself.
Yeah, but so many women are told that you can't be strong, you can't be independent, you can't be ambitious. You have to be in your soft feminine, and to feel the man in the relationship almost needs to feel dependent for you to be likable.
Yeah.
How do you balance that? Because as you
What?
said, we are strong, confident women, and we know what we
Yeah.
bring to the table. Do you feel the message that girls get today is you have to be less than?
I think
be
a lot of people say this, right? When I have conversations with my friends also, they used to say this all the time to me, that how you gonna find somebody, because when you talk you can be so intimidating and you're so strong, you should just tone it down a little bit. I feel like that's just something that goes around, and we're constantly as women we're told, like, just don't be so dominant, because that's just, you're supposed to be soft.
Yes.
And you're supposed to be like nurturing and taking care, and you're supposed to be in this playful energy, don't mother him, don't be too much for him. And we get to hear all of those things. But I just think the right person will make you feel the best you've ever felt about yourself.
And also the most feminine.
Yes, the most
Like
feminine.
I feel like
the
with
balance.
the right guy, you wanna be feminine, you wanna be
Yeah.
like, delicate, you want like, and he will offer to take care of you.
Yeah.
So, and then I think that's the right balance. But at the same time, like when you do come in your masculine, because we have both, right? Like we all have both. So the other person has to also be soft and calm
Yeah.
and be a good listener. I feel like that's so
definitely.
important.
Yeah, I think that's
Yeah.
one thing you might have. That's
Yeah.
one thing you must have learned from your dad for sure. Because
Yeah.
listening to all of these women in the house, he must be such a good listener.
Yeah.
But as women, we tend to look for the same qualities in our partner that we love in our dad. What has he taught you about masculinity in general?
Such a nice question. This is.
I feel like the most important thing that we feel with our father is how we can rely on him, how we can just like close our eyes and just be like, oh my god, like if I randomly say like I like a yellow mug and this is so sweet and cute, and the next day he'll have it sent over to my house. So it's small things like that he picks on. So I feel like growing up we've had huge expectations from
High
our partners.
Yeah,
standards.
like really big
True.
shoes to fill. And it's
Yeah.
not just the materialistic things also, like I think my dad's sensibility and his emotional intelligence is also really high. Like he will always understand if I'm not in the right mood, or if I'm miffed about something, or if my energy is down, or if I'm okay. He checks in with us so much, like, are you okay, because I just think that's what it's like to be around so many women.
Yeah.
You have to also tap into your emotions and understand that they can have different moods at different times. So he's really good with that. And I think that's why we always, when we spoke about like finding the right man, I think something that was really on top was that he has to be emotional, he has to be sensitive.
Yes.
And I mean, other than all the facts that you want in a guy, which is you want to be able to depend on him, you want to shut your brain off when you're with him, he has to just take the lead. I understand
has to
most
be a
girls want
leader.
that. He has to be a leader, in some way. But I feel like the right guy will make you want those things. It's like when the balance is off, it's off.
That's so
Like sometimes a guy gives you everything and you're just not there, you don't want it. And like sometimes you want everything and you're just too much for him. But I feel like the right guy will bring out the right balance, and you just know that.
Yeah, but dads are dads, and
Yeah.
I have realized that, and I feel like dads will always be dads. Like there's so many times like we're landing at like, or we have really late night flights or early mornings, and I swear, Shreya, he's like the kind of guy who's, I have like a 6:30 flight, 5 o'clock, he'll be like sitting in the living area with the keys and he'll drop
That's
me.
4 a.m.
And
because
yeah.
5 o'clock we have to be at the
Yeah.
airport.
That's standard time.
Yeah,
But also, you know, like coming and picking us up in the middle of the night, like small things, and doesn't
and then
have to
cooking
do
us a
that.
meal as soon
That's
as
so
we come
sweet.
back home. Like he loves that, you know, like that. He finds so much happiness in just taking care of us. So just generally, that's just really big shoes to fill for any guy, you know. And
Definitely.
He's not
just-
gonna probably stay up till 4 o'clock and check if I'm home. So you know, like I think we'll have these comparisons. But my understanding is like your dads are dads, and
Yeah.
you know every dad is a dad.
Yeah.
But we would hope to find somebody like that for
Oh,
sure.
manifesting
Man-
that for you all
Yeah.
the way through. Manifesting that man for you. What kind of legacy do you want to leave behind?
Honestly, we talk about this a lot. I don't know
Yeah.
why, but we do think that, you know, I think legacy is different for different people. For me and her, I feel like I don't know about a legacy, but we do want to be remembered as people who were very, very honest with what they did and did everything for the right reasons and just contributed in making people feel seen, heard. I think all of those things. And then, you know, like we often talk about this, like, does it even matter? Like you just go away one day and then all the work did, like, is how does it get remembered? Because I feel like in this day and age there's so many people
yeah.
all around us, so like
Yeah.
whose legacy matters, like whose legacy doesn't matter. We don't come from a star family or anything like that, so like does it make a difference? Does it actually happen? So these are questions, I feel like, with certain question marks still, but I feel like I don't know about the future, but one day at a time, and I just want to be super invested and, you know, secure about what we are and where we are in life.
So you want to be remembered for the honesty.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know,
In a
like
way.
like she said earlier, like ultimately we just want to be remembered. Like the way that I contribute to this life and this world is through my music, right? Like we're musicians at the end of the day. We have those 3 to 4 minutes that we can contribute to other people to change their mood or make them feel special in some way. Like that's the way that I connect with people across the globe. That's just how, like, I feel like that's our expression. So if we can contribute in any way and make people feel special, and you know, if they listen to my music and they think it's relatable, I think music is really something that outlives us. You know, we're going to go away one day, but the songs will be there. So I feel like in any way, if I can release a song, and I want to release so many, right? So I hope somebody finds their favorite song out of all the songs, even if it's just one song. I just want to like leave and go away with just changing people's moods, and I hope they find themselves in the writing.
If you had the power to change one thing about the music industry to make it more equitable and more inclusive, what would it be?
Superpower.
Yes, superpower.
If we had the superpower to change one thing in the music industry, I think I would hope that the industry becomes a little bit more collaborative than it is right now. And you know, it's already such a collaborative industry. There's so many collaborations that happen day to day. But I just think that, you know, more people out there would be working with like, say, just people who've started out. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just, like, today there are collaborations happening on that level, and I just hope that, you know, like the super established composers, singers, musicians, singer-songwriters collaborate with people who are just starting out. So there's just some form of, you know, unequal representation, and they also get to spike their numbers in some way. Because ultimately, I think music is supposed to be heard as collaborations. That's how, you know, fandoms reach out to each other. That's how you grow. That's how you multiply your listeners. So just a little more of collaborations I'd like to see in the future.
Yeah, same.
I think what I can think, like the top of my head, is that music just stays music, not non-film and film. Like, I mean, I know that's just the way things are, but like I feel like music is music, and I feel like that difference just gets too less or too much sometimes. And I feel that every artist deserves a spot, and every artist deserves like a place, and I feel like there's so much place for everybody. So like, let everybody do any kind of music that they want, and I would just like love people to be more accepting and understand what independent music is.
And not
Like,
judge
not
it by
yeah.
how many reels
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
how many views and how many comments and where it's on the charts. I just wish music wasn't viewed and like that. Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
based on numbers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
numbers. Yeah.
Something that you wish and hope for each other.
I mean, for me, like Prakriti, although we're twins, she's always like my younger sister. I can I feel like in my head, like I'm 3 minutes older, but I'm supposed to be like the older sister and like have it all together every single time.
How does that make
Yeah, but I just really wish that I feel like sometimes Prakriti can be, too giving and too naive. And otherwise she's so smart. So like for that I just like always want her to be protected. Like I'm super protective about her. So I just want
Yeah.
Prakriti to just, like always be around people that she trusts and like always be super protective.
Aww.
That's sweet.
One thing that I wish for Sukriti is, I think, there's this, because I live with her and because I'm her sister, I just think there's so much to her voice that people haven't heard yet. I just think her voice is so dynamic. And I think a lot of listeners listen to her and, sometimes think that she can sing a peppy song well or, an up-tempo song so beautifully and she has that power voice. I also think she can sing soft songs really well. And because music is ultimately about opportunities, it's a matter of opportunities, especially when you're singing for the movies. So I just hope people get to listen to that soft side of her also, which is just not out there much. So I hope she gets more opportunities where she can shine in that space.
Beautiful. Any advice to young women who look up to you and aspire to enter the music industry?
Write your own music.
Yeah.
I wish we did that, and I wish we can continue doing that. But yeah, I think just write
Write your own music.
And I guess learn music production. When you start young, then you keep getting better. That's something I wish we knew to do right from the beginning. Or like I wouldn't even mind start learning right now. Like if we really could, like I would love to go back to school and like learn it. And I feel like a lot of people are still like you can start learning something new every single time. But my 2 cents would be that there are going to be so many days that nobody believes in you, and that also changes really rapidly when you wake up believing in you, because there's no other way it really transpires. Like you have to believe in yourself in order for other people to believe in you. And it's just such a hack because even if it takes you to be a little delulu at times, I think it really
I love
works.
that you said that.
Yeah, because I do observe so many people, like they are so talented but they are a little delusional, and I feel like that just works.
That's true.
Like
That's
you
a good
Yeah,
combination.
Yeah.
That's definitely. If you're not overthinking it, and I feel
Yeah,
like some
don't
people who
overthink,
just do it
yeah.
without overthinking it,
Yeah.
I feel like they're gonna go so far ahead versus
Yeah.
people who
That's so true.
criticize
Yeah.
themselves and overthink things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
nice to be a little self-critical, and like you cannot also feel like, oh my god, like this first song I've released and it made it and I've made it. Like
Yeah.
I think that's just really silly. But then at the same time, I think it's super important to just constantly believe in yourself and be your like number one cheerleader and love the kind of music that you're making. I feel like all the up and coming girls and boys, Gen Z is very intelligent. I think
Yeah.
they'll be fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. It wouldn't be a music podcast without the two of you singing. We're gonna start off with, even if it's a line, singing a song for each other. If you
Aw.
dedicate a song for her and you dedicate a song to her
How
as well.
sweet. I feel like we'll dedicate a song to each other by singing something that we've just released.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that's a
Yeah.
beautiful dedication.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's hear it.
We'll divide that song so it feels like we're singing for each other.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, it's my private concert.
Let's go. This is
Oh
also
my
the first time
God,
I'm
yeah,
singing it
this-
live, so that'll be really
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Do you think
We've
sung it
not
live?
sung this. Like
I
it's
love
just
it.
2 days old
I
actually. so
feel
we
very
haven't sung this.
honored.
All right, so this is Tu Kahe To. This is our most innocent song yet, and this talks about unconditional love. So we'll sing it for each other.
Yeah,
and
that's
you can
cute.
think of whoever you want to think about.
I'm just here in this moment. Literally, that's the only place I want to be.
सुन ले कभी तो मेरे दिल ने कही जो बातें, सुन ले कभी तो पिया। कैसे मनाऊं कैसे तुझको बताऊं, रातें भी नहीं सोती है पिया। तुझसे जुड़ी ये सांसें हैं, सुकून जहाँ तेरी बाहें हैं। जो तू मिला है मुझे, क्या बताऊं तुझे क्या हुआ। तू कहे तो जमाना भी छोड़ आऊं मैं, छोड़ आऊं मैं। तू कहे सारे तारे भी तोड़ लाऊं मैं, तोड़ लाऊं मैं। तू कहे, तू कहे, तू कहे सारे तारे भी तोड़ लाऊं मैं, तोड़ लाऊं मैं। तू कहे तो, तू कहे तो, तू कहे तो।
Thank you. Yeah, obviously. What?
It's the first time we sang it live.
I want to redo the whole podcast with just you singing the whole time. Like that's how
we can just sing all our answers next
that
time.
was yeah. I think that's the
Yeah.
only format I want to do this in. That was beautiful. That
Thank
was just
you
goosebumpy
so much.
everywhere.
How
I'm
sweet.
never gonna
Oh.
karaoke with you two. I'm just gonna say that. Like, there's never gonna be a time where you suggest an activity that's
We'll
karaoke.
give you
and
enough drinks so we can all
I'm
do it
coming.
together.
Drink? You both have to drink, so you don't remember anything that I that I
yeah.
sing. That was
Sweet,
that was
Shreya.
beautiful.
Thank you
Thank you so much.
A song for your dad.
Oh my
Oh.
god, like this is
Hard.
hard.
It's gonna make
Like
us
it's-
emotional or what?
Any song you dedicate to your dad.
Okay, I'll sing this one song.
I know what you're gonna say.
And I remember this, like my dad has this thing that he always says, and like growing up I always heard him say this to me. And you know, maybe he was trying to invoke something inside me, but he always told me that, you know, agar tum ye gana nahi ga sakte then you can't be a singer. You know, like I think he considers this song as an acid test for any singer, and which is Lag Ja Gale. So this is just a song that we always sing, you know, when we're having a nice family dinner or something like that, or when, you know, we're jamming at home just in general. So I sing a little bit of that, and this is actually a romantic song, but this is for my dad because you know, this is his favorite song.
Yeah.
लग जा गले कि फिर ये हंसी रात हो ना हो, शायद फिर इस जन्म में मुलाकात हो ना हो। लग जा गले से
Thank you. I don't want to, literally don't know what to say except, yeah, we're gonna sing every response next time.
Yeah.
That was beautiful. That was beautiful. The last one is for all the women in your lives, whether that's your mum, your sister, any
Oh wow.
female influence that's gotten you where you are today. Just for the women out there.
I'm going to make a mistake because I haven't sung this in 10 years.
There's no such
Maybe.
thing.
But growing up, there was this one very, very, very beautiful song. It's called Hero, and it's all about finding the hero in, like, you're your own hero. I think that's what it talks about, is by Mariah Carey. And I haven't sung this in so long. I think the last time I sang this, we were in Melbourne at the film festival, and they actually wanted me to sing this song, and you know, it was my favorite song, so that was the last time. Don't find a YouTube video.
When you tell me not to do something, you know what I'm gonna do? Exactly that.
Yeah. So this is what it sounds like.
There's a hero if you look inside your heart. You don't have to be afraid of what you are. There's an answer if you reach into your soul, and the sorrow that you know will melt away,
hero comes along.
That was beautiful.
It goes somewhere else. I don't even remember the
You
lyrics.
reached my soul
Yeah.
for sure, and you're definitely my hero
Thank
post
you.
that. But this was so sweet. This was, my heart is so full. That's all I can say.
Aw,
I'm
thank
so
you,
glad
Shreya.
we
We
made
had
this
so
happen.
much fun.
Actually, so much fun.
I know
We
it,
had so much
it
fun.
went on for way longer, but I feel
Yeah,
like I could
yeah.
talk to you both forever. Thank you for putting out all the beautiful music that you put out. Thank you for being such beautiful souls and
Thank
bringing
you.
so
That's
much
sweet.
love and energy and passion into everything that you do. And as I said, I'm manifesting that concert where you are the
Yeah.
answer to India's pop queens. I want to see you touring everywhere across
How
the world.
sweet.
And I wish
Love
you
it.
more hits and blockbusters and all of
Yes.
that coming your way. Everything,
Thank you.
everything that you
Thank
wish
you.
for. Thank you so much for doing
Thank
this.
you
for
Shreya,
having
honestly. So much fun. I think such a deep, insightful, amazing conversation. So vulnerable also. So thank you so much. For
That's how
having
it's always
us.
going to be.
Yeah.
That's how we know
But I
it's always
just
gonna be.
love the questions, and I just love that this was so different from anything else we've done.
I'm so glad.
Like, I'm so glad we could talk about so many different things with you, and now we're gonna go out and we're gonna chill and we're gonna meet the next time and really, really bond.
Definitely.
Yes.
Thank you for having
guys.
us.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I can't sing for shit to save my life. I want to confirm that you all are India's only singing twins.
Yeah.
Is that true?
That's
Yeah.
true.
There's no other like twins.
I mean, it's kind of true. Like when you go to the West, also, like none that we know. We used to follow like this pair of twin girls, and now we can't find them like on Instagram anymore.
They don't sing anymore.
I mean, I think they just like deactivated their profiles and changed their careers overnight.
Have you started rolling? Because these are great questions.
Yeah, we've been rolling for like the last
Oh!
15 Y'all are performing at my wedding, you'll know that.
Yay! Let's get you married.
We don't have a boy.
We've spoken about your bachelorette. I remember that.
Yes.
Which
I'm
is
not a part of this conversation. So let's do a redo.
I wish we had popcorn on this side.
I know, but he wouldn't let us
No?
like just
He would distract us.
Hi. La 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 la. Hi. Yeah, I'm speaking voice. I don't have a singing voice. I just tried that. Ready? Don't do the action and cut and all that. What do you mean I have to do? What? It stresses the hell out of me.
Just say it. Can I yell at you?
No. Joining us today are India's. Okay, there we go. Take one. You're wearing an evil eye. I think I'm practically.
Oh my god.
You're wearing an evil eye. I'm practically. Why am I messing up the word practically? Why he's doing a thumbs up every time he gets a blooper of me screwing up. He's literally like.
We also started performing at a lot of restaurants and bars. So like every weekend we made this small band and we would just go and sing on a Friday night, Saturday night, and it was so.
It's approving. It's approving
Yeah.
of whatever you've done. It's a honk of approval.
What's the memory bar?
What song would your sister choose as the soundtrack of her life? I'm loving how
Some
well
really
the twins
funny
know each
things
other.
are coming. say something crazy. I would say like Sabrina's Please Please Please.
Oh my god! Next question.
Hum the first line of a song and have your sister guess the title.
She's singing Tu Kahe To, just released.
Such a plugger.
If you could do a duet with duet.
Duet?
Did I say?
Do it.
I'm trying to be so French here. I missed the T. Do you want to do a duet? I'm like, no, duet.
Do it.
That's not going anywhere. If you had the
Sorry,
power.
I'm just.
This is going in the main
Oh my
video.
god, I'm so sorry. I was just
Not
like
at all.
hiding and doing it with too many cameras. I can't hide.
Not at all.
Okay. Wow. Mic drop.
Mic drop.
All the phones are out.
Okay,
great.